So Art Online Fractured Daydream is upon us. This brand new adventure puts 20-player online features into the spotlight, but also features a campaign in a brand new adventure caused by the Galaxia system going haywire, not only bringing different game worlds together, but also allies and adversaries from across the SAO series. So without further ado, here are 5 things you should know about Art Online Fractured Daydream. Number 1. Fractured Daydream removes one of the biggest barriers of entry to a Art Online game, that being its extensive SAO Gameverse timeline being left behind. The Gameverse having concluded with last recollection, SAOFD establishes itself on the status quo set by the ending of the Alicization saga in the main canon, making it a perfect opportunity to jump in for all anime fans who have watched until the end of War of Underworld. A cast of 21 playable characters in the base game, with the likes of Kirito, Asuna, Leafa, Shinon, Klein, Argo, Quinella, even Heathcliff among others, were also joined by the alternative Gangale Online characters like Len and Fukajiro, who will be part of the journey. The SAO Gameverse being a story of 10 years that started with Hollow Fragment that superseded the even older Infinity Moment, was a gigantic hurdle for everyone who wanted to jump into the games, unsure about what they should read up on to be up to speed with this alternate timeline. And let's be real, playing 10 years worth of games is not an easy task either, especially with how expansive some of these games were. So being able to jump into this title with your current knowledge of the anime is a massive advantage for the players who were seeking out for a story that is also closer to the main series in its themes and feeling, compared to the more happy-go-lucky Gameverse that took a lot more of a casual approach with less stakes. But as usual, if you read the light novels, surely you'll be able to notice a lot more details sprinkled around just for you. However, so far, there is no information shared about future characters in the series, such as Mutasina, for example, to tread lightly on potential spoilers, nor has there been any information about potential progressive characters that are yet to be adapted in anime form, like Kismel or Neza. But on the bright side, more characters are being added over time, and they even include Gameverse characters, if you were among the SAO Gameverse fans. Stray is being introduced into Fractured Daydream shortly after its release from Infinity Moment / Hollow Fragment, and later down the line, Pitohui and M from Alternative Gangale Online will be added as well. So the future likely holds many more fan-favorite characters, or perhaps even some obscure ones from the light novels for the more involved fans. Time will tell. Number 2. While the game has an original story to play through which will unlock the characters for you to play as, what you're unlocking them for is the main offering of Fractured Daydream that comes after the story. Enter 20-player co-op action RPG multiplayer. In SAOFD, you can party up with up to 3 of your friends to matchmake into a 20-player lobby to do co-op missions, 5 parties of 4 players each, which are open instance-based quests where parties will be tackling objectives to convene into a central map and then tackle on a boss. These are generally very casual and relaxing experiences to have fun with friends, but if you're looking for a more action-packed experience, boss raid mode will be more of your jam. Same as before, as a 20-player raid party consisting of 5 individual parties of 4, you'll take on huge bosses like the Skull Reaper or the Sword Golem head on. You don't need to worry, the game features matchmaking, so you can also queue up without a full party of your own and get matchmade with other players for these incredible experiences. But perhaps directly jumping into co-op and taking on bosses is a bit too stressful for you, and you either just want to roam around and relax, or just work on mastering new characters. Then, free quests will be your go-to mode, where you'll be taken into a map instance by yourself or friends and just casually roam around, slay monsters, collect loot, and even find tougher enemies to challenge yourself with. You can even come across other players who may help you, as this is also a multiplayer instance, albeit a very relaxed, no commitment mode, and who knows, maybe you'll fancy helping others instead. So grab your favorite character and dive right in. Number 3. Art Online Fractured Daydream features extensive customization options. You can expand your wardrobe by defeating bosses and completing challenges in the game, but there'll also be an in-game shop with additional items if you prefer them. Some of these outfit changes will also provide you new skill animations for specific characters, but fear not, these are just animations as far as we know for now. There should be no changes to their damage output to prevent a pay-to-win situation. All of these cosmetic changes badges will also appear in all in-game cutscenes, so make sure to look your best whenever you're on one. Or alternatively, if you are generally someone who enjoys canon outfits for story purposes, like me, don't forget to remove them when doing the story, whichever your heart desires. Number 4. Fractured Daydream brings you an all-star cast of 21 characters with fully unique gameplay, separated into 6 classes based on their general role in combat, with 3 more characters arriving in 2 planned DLCs on the horizon. While building upon Fatal Bullet's core and thus feeling very familiar and intuitive to a lot of players, a lot of work has clearly went into the melee combat to smooth it out and to extend it to fully unique weapon types and skill sets ranging from swords to rapiers to katanas, battle axes, sword and shield combo, claws, you name it. All characters are here with their iconic choice of weaponry for a completely fresh experience. The fighter class, generally aiming for sustained DPS, consists of Kirito, Asuna, Lisbeth and Klein. The tank class, aiming to draw aggro and protect others, consists of Egil, Alice and Heathcliff, with Straya from the SAO Gameverse arriving shortly after launch in the first DLC. The rogue class, aiming for increased mobility and quick burst damage potential, consists of Argo, Yuki, Eiji and Len. The ranger class, focusing on attacks from afar, consists of Shinon, Fukajira and Deathgun, with potentially Pitohui or M joining the ranks in the second DLC later down the line. The mage class, specializing in not necessarily spells per se, but rather crowd control, consists of Oberon, Yu-Gi-Oh and Quinella, with either Pitohui or M likely fitting here as well in the second DLC. The classes for Pitohui and M have not yet been announced. And last but not least, the support class, focusing on healing and taking care of the team in general, consists of Lifa, Yuna, Shilika and Yui. And do not for a second think a certain class is not fit for you. Classes are rather just guidelines here in this game. The beta experiences showed us plenty that with the right build, Agil as a tank or Lifa as a support can dish out damage just fine, whereas a ranger like Fukajiro is quite proficient at healing teammates in comparison. So my recommendation to you, it is really much more of an individual based choice, so jump in there, find the characters you enjoy the skill sets of the most, and just have fun. Number 5, and this final header is specifically for you as a consumer. A set of information so that you are informed about potential pitfalls or, to alleviate some of your potential worries. The game is built by Dimps Corporation and is pretty much a spiritual successor to Fatal Bullet. SAOFD took the best parts of Fatal Bullet, that being the incredible character variety in the game and the online co-op multiplayer, and turned it into the core offering alongside a story that features no custom character that compromises the story extensively in various aspects back in that game. The developers have also gone on record that Fractured Daydream will not have lootbox/gacha type monetization, so unlike most live service games on the storefront, SAOFD won't try to exploit you like that. However, there will be an in-game store for additional cosmetic items, as I have referenced earlier in customization header, where you can get new outfits, some of which will also alter your skill animations. Fractured Daydream also features DLC, as referenced earlier, that not only brings new characters to play as in multiplayer, but they also arrive with new story content to look forward to alongside new weapons and items to earn. The multiplayer aspect of the game, which has been the main highlight of Fractured Daydream marketing with like 70 to 80% focus, if not more, is of course locked behind online memberships on consoles. So if the 20-player multiplayer is the main draw for you in this game, just calculate with that console membership fee or try to grab SAOFD on Steam if your PC supports the minimum or recommended specs. And of course, the large portion of the game is technically a live service here, which I feel is something I should mention here with a little bit more context. Given the recent trend of failing live service games, I do wholeheartedly believe this is the best SAO game I have ever played, and I believe it will be successful. But regardless of that, whether it is successful or not, for starters, Fractured Daydream comes with a campaign that will always be available. They're not just gonna rip it out of your hands. And I am not mentioning this as a consolation prize of sorts, really not. The online itself is fully functional, even if there are only a low number of players around with NPCs filling the blank spots. Sure, the NPCs, they're not top tier gamer PogChamps, of course, but they will do the job, so there's not necessarily a worry about a shutdown of sorts like some other live service games that fully rely on human players. But with those disclaimers and clarifications out of the way, that's a wrap on this video. Hope I could give you a good enough of an idea of what to expect here, and if you have further questions, make sure to ask them in the comments and I'll respond. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more in-depth SAO content. Until next time, stay cool.